Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. In the last video you saw I changed the crossmember in the car, installed the engine and what have you. That hasn't gone particularly well. The engine is back out, which I'll go into in a minute. I'm thinking of maybe putting the standard crossmember back into it, as I wasn't really that happy with the position of what the engine was sitting at. I couldn't seem to get it to sit central in the bay. It was like about an inch one side, no matter what way I fit the mounts. So when I put the engine back in, I'll try again to get it to sit a bit more central, and if I can't, I'll put the other crossmember back in. Now, before I go into explaining to why the engine was taken back out, as you can see, I've got my axle back. So I'd like to say a big thank you to my mate Chris at CT Fabrications for doing the work. He's made a cracking job. He's taken 15mm off each side. So hopefully that will give me just enough clearance, or more than enough clearance, on my arches. And he's also fitted a drain plug into the bottom of it, so it will make life easier for draining oil in the future. So if anyone wants this sort of work done, contact Chris at CT Fabrications. He's your man. He's based in Lancing, West Sussex, and he does all sorts of fabrication works and axle shortening and hot rod repairs, all sorts of stuff. He's your man. Right then, engine. Put it in and I got it running, and it sounded nice, apart from there was like a slight knocking noise, but it was a noise what we didn't know what it was. I had a few people look at it and we all agreed it wasn't like engine noise as such, but you know, we checked the obvious, the timing, and then we checked just to make sure valve clearances were correct, you know, checked nothing was fouling on the flywheel. We couldn't see anything, so in the end we took the engine back out, dropped the sump off, and we found the problem. A bolt has obviously dropped in and it has got flung up, and it was wedged in between the block and the sump there. And as the piston was going up and down, the bolt on the conrod cap was just touching the bolt. So although it's cracked, it hasn't cracked it this way, and the sump wasn't leaking, so we're hoping it's going to be okay. We'll put some sealant on it and what have you. We did check for any damage inside. We couldn't see anything, so I'm just going to put the sump back on it, reinstall the engine, and fingers crossed it's going to be okay. Right then, now the sump is on. It's time to try and get it refitted back into the bay. So, after an awful lot of faffing about, the engine's in. So, fitting the engine with the well cut crossmember in wasn't very successful. So I've taken it out and I've put the original crossmember back in, and honestly, the engine just literally fell straight into place where it's meant to sit with no problems whatsoever. So that's the way we're going to go. So next is to fit the gearbox, get the exhaust on, and then obviously HT leads and what have you, and we should be ready to try and fire it up. And fingers crossed there'll be no nasty noises. Right then, it's now the following day. Gearbox is all in, bolted up properly. Exhaust is loosely fitted on in case it doesn't run properly. All the distributors plumbed in and what have you. I have already turned the engine over just to make sure all the oil's around everywhere. So now, time to see if it starts. Well, that all seems to run alright, so I'll take that as a win. Right then, that's all running. I will finish fitting up all the ancillaries and what have you properly and putting the water system together, bolt the exhaust up properly and what have you, so there's no point in me filming that because it's all pretty self-explanatory really. So the next video will be on the installation of the rear axle, and hopefully I'll have the diff back by then and be able to take it for a quick little test drive. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.